From Charlie Sheen's wild throuple with adult film stars, to Pauly Shore's heartbreak that ended in tragedy, and even Drew Carey's secret romance with a webcam model, these Hollywood stories prove fame has no boundaries when it comes to love. These are actors who dated adult film stars. Charlie Sheen. Charlie's love life has been a whirlwind of chaos, controversy, and scandal, especially when it comes to his relationships with adult film stars. Let's start with Bree Olson, whose real name is Rachel Oberlin. She dated Charlie in early 2011 during his infamous Goddesses phase, right after he got fired from 2.5 Men. Bree and another woman, Natalie Kenley, lived with him in his Los Angeles home from January to April 2011. At 24, Bree called Charlie a great man and an awesome provider, boasting she was getting my cake and eating it too. The relationship was full of threesomes and reckless fun, with Charlie allegedly assuring her he was clean. But there was a huge problem. They sometimes had unprotected sex, and he used lambskin condoms, which don't protect against STIs. Bree ended things via text in April 2011, but the real shock came in 2015 when Charlie announced he was HIV positive. On The Howard Stern Show, Bree said he never disclosed his status to her and declared, "I will never forgive you." Her mother later revealed she'd prayed for Bree to leave Charlie, worried about her safety. Next, rewind to the 90s with Ginger Lynn Allen, one of Charlie's longest relationships with an adult star. Their on and off romance lasted from 1990 to 1996 after meeting on the Young Guns 2 set. Ginger described Charlie as the most romantic man I ever met, but only when sober. The pair partied hard, entered rehab together, and Charlie even broke off his engagement to Kelly Preston to be with her. Despite opposition from his team, Charlie stood by Ginger, even writing a heartfelt letter to the judge during her tax trial. But the relationship unraveled amid Charlie's infidelity and rumors involving the Heidi Fleiss scandal. Ginger later clarified her son wasn't his and auctioned off old love letters in 2011. Then there's Capri Anderson, real name Christina Walsh. Their encounter in October 2010 at New York's Plaza Hotel turned into a nightmare. Hired for $3,500 as an escort, Capri accused Charlie of choking her, throwing a lamp, and yelling slurs before she locked herself in the bathroom. Charlie countersued, accusing her of extortion and theft of his $165,000 watch. The case went nowhere, and shockingly, the two reportedly reunited in 2013 and lived together briefly. Finally, Brett Rossi, Scottine Ross, entered the picture in 2013. Charlie paid her $10,000 for their first encounter, and they were engaged by February 2014. The engagement ended that October via text. In 2015, Brett sued him for assault, battery, and negligence, claiming he hid his HIV status, forced her to have an abortion, and was physically abusive during drug binges. She said he once threatened her with a gun and called their unborn child a slur. The case was dismissed, though she later reaffirmed the abuse in a 2025 interview. Charlie Sheen's dating history with adult film stars is honestly a masterclass in chaos, and while some of these stories are wild, they're also deeply concerning, just like this next actor's dating life. Michael Keaton. Okay, so you know Michael Keaton as the GOAT Batman from the Tim Burton era. The man gave us iconic performances in Beetlejuice 1988 and Batman 1989, but what you might not know is that he had a brief romantic entanglement with adult film actress Rachel Ryan, whose real name was Serena Robinson. Rachel Ryan was born on August 22, 1961 in Shaker Heights, Ohio, and was a prominent figure in the adult entertainment industry from 1985 to 1998, appearing in over 200 films under various pseudonyms like Penny Morgan and Ingrid Elliott. Sadly, she passed away on May 18, 2020 in Florida at age 58 with no family claiming her remains, which is honestly heartbreaking when you think about it. So here's the twist. Rachel and Keaton met during the filming of Clean and Sober 1988, a drama about addiction where Keaton starred as a recovering cocaine addict. Rachel had a minor role as the nude corpse of his character's girlfriend, appearing briefly in scenes that involved nudity. This was essentially her first and only significant mainstream film credit outside of adult work. Their affair reportedly began around October 1988, shortly after production wrapped. The relationship lasted a few months in late 1988 to early 1989, and while it was described as a widely reported affair in the media, details remained pretty sparse, probably because this was the 80s and paparazzi culture wasn't quite as invasive as it is today. They were spotted together socially, and Rachel even crossed paths with Keaton professionally again in Batman 1989, where she played Amanda Keeler, a fashion model poisoned by the Joker's Smilex makeup. This cameo was uncredited in some sources, but it definitely fueled rumors of ongoing ties between them. And here's where things get a bit messy. Keaton reportedly ended the affair upon learning the full extent of Rachel's adult film career, which included titles that, well, let's just say they were very specific about their genre. Sources described the breakup as amicable but abrupt, with no public drama whatsoever. Rachel continued in adult films until her retirement in 1998, and even married actor Richard Mulligan, of Soap fame, from 1992-1993. The Michael Keaton and Rachel Ryan story is definitely one of the more low-key relationships among actors, but it's a reminder that even our favorite favorite superheroes have complicated dating histories, but how did this next relationship fare? Evan Seinfeld. Now let's talk about Evan Seinfeld, because this man's story is absolutely fascinating. For those who don't know, Evan was the lead vocalist and bassist for the hardcore band Biohazard, and he also played Jazz Hoyt on HBO's Oz. But what really put him in the headlines was his marriage to adult film legend Tara Patrick, whose real name is Linda Ann Hopkins. This relationship was giving power couple energy at first. Evan and Tara met through connections at the Playboy Network around 2001-2002. Tara, already a prominent adult star, expressed interest in meeting Evan, who was known for his role on Oz in his music career. In a 20/20 interview, Evan described being contacted by Playboy representatives on her behalf, which led to their initial connection. At the time, Evan hadn't even entered the adult film industry yet. They started dating around 2001, embarking on a 3-year courtship before getting married. During this period, Evan made the decision to transition into adult films himself, debuting under the alias Spider Jones and collaborating with Tara on various projects. They got married on January 9, 2004, in a small, intimate ceremony in Las Vegas while attending the 2004 AVN Awards. From 2004 to 2009, they were literally the dream team. They co-founded TerraVision and Iron Cross Entertainment. Together, they produced and starred in films like Reign of Terra, Paradise Island, which Evan directed, Tara, Desperate, and Tara Patrick's Fashion Underground. Evan appeared in 7 films with Tara, and also performed in scenes with other actresses, which Tara initially supported. In 2006, they even launched a talent agency for models and actors in the industry. Their partnership was elevating Tara's brand to new heights, and Evan credited the adult world with cutting through bullshit in relationships. But here's where things got complicated. After 7 years of marriage, they publicly announced their separation on September 30th, 2009, stating they would remain friends and business partners. On the surface, it seemed amicable, but the reality was much deeper. The primary reason for the divorce was actually Tara's desire for Evan to exit the adult film industry. Tara had largely retired from performing by 2006-2008, and she wanted Evan to do the same. In her memoir Sinner Takes All, published January 5th, 2010, Tara detailed issuing an ultimatum: stop performing in porn or end the marriage. She wrote that Evan had promised to do porn only temporarily, but he refused to quit, responding that he was having a great time and having his cake and eating it too. Tara feared the porn curse, where couples break up when one partner continues performing with other people, and she wanted their marriage to be the priority. From Evan's perspective, he expressed a non-monogamous worldview in interviews, stating that in the adult industry, sex is just sex, and love is more profound, which supposedly reduces jealousy compared to civilian relationships. He noted high divorce rates generally and didn't see porn as a barrier to successful relationships. No legal battles or public feuds followed the split, but it was definitely covered sensationalistically in tabloids and metal music media. Tara described the decision as sudden and cathartic, saying it helped her repair family relationships, while Evan moved on pretty quickly, marrying another adult star, Lupe Fuentes, in 2011. After the divorce, Tara retained ownership of TerraVision and shifted to non-performing roles, such as hosting School of Sex on Playboy TV and pursuing mainstream ventures like a burlesque show. She entered a relationship with Tony Acosta, 2010-2015, had a daughter in 2012, and by 2018 had remarried an Italian attorney and moved to Italy. In her memoir, she expressed lasting hurt that Evan didn't prioritize her, but found closure through writing. Evan continued in adult entertainment briefly, then founded the subscription platform Is My Girl and the men's mental health site Mentorship. He rejoined Biohazard in 2022 and has reflected positively on his porn career in interviews without directly criticizing Tara. The Evan and Tara story is honestly one of the more nuanced entries on this list, because it shows that even when both partners are in the same industry, differing views on boundaries and priorities can still end relationships, just like it happened to this next couple. Pauly Shore. We're talking about Pauly Shore, the comedian and MTV personality famous for his Weasel character. In the early 1990s, during the absolute peak of both their careers, Pauly had a high-profile relationship with adult film star Savannah, whose real name was Shannon Michelle Wilsey. Their romance lasted approximately 12 months, from around 1991 to late 1992. At the time, Shore was crushing it as an MTV VJ and actor in films like Encino Man, and Savannah was one of the top adult film actresses under contract with Vivid Entertainment. The relationship was publicly affectionate. Pauly introduced Savannah to his family and even took her as his date to the 1991 MTV Video Music Awards. Like, that's serious, I want you to meet my mom energy. After their breakup in late 1992, they remained close friends, with Savannah continuing to confide in Pauly about her personal and professional struggles. And this is where the story takes a devastating turn. Between 1993 and 1994, Savannah's career began to falter. She was fired by Vivid, started freelancing for lower budget studios, struggled with drug addiction, and faced serious IRS debts. She expressed to Pauly her desire to leave porn, but felt she had no other skills for different work. She told him, "What do I do? I don't know anything else." On July 11, 1994, after crashing her Corvette, which caused serious facial injuries, Savannah shot herself in her garage. She died hours later at St. Joseph's Hospital in Burbank, with Pauly by her bedside. Her father removed life support. Toxicology showed alcohol and cocaine use. She was only 23 years old. Pauly attended the funeral on July 13, 1994, and he was reportedly the only ex-boyfriend to do so. The event profoundly affected him. He described being visibly shaken, and it prompted serious personal reflection and a shift away from his party boy persona. Savannah's life was incredibly turbulent from the start. Born October 9, 1970, she entered the adult industry at 19 after early exposure to erotica and relationships with older rock stars. Before Pauly, she had been linked to musicians like Greg Allman. At 16, Billy Idol, Vince Neil, Slash, David Lee Roth, Billy Sheehan, and Mark Wahlberg. Drug addiction started early, heroin with Allman escalating to cocaine, leading to DUIs, financial ruin despite earning millions, and a diva reputation that ended her Vivid contract in 1993. Police noted she was not happy with her life as a whole, with factors including childhood molestation complaints, breakups, and the car accident as the final straw. And while their relationship didn't last long, Savannah's tragic demise showed how eventually her career path took a toll on her. And the same is true with how this next actor found himself in a relationship with an adult film star, Drew Carey. Okay, let's lighten things up a bit with Drew Carey, everyone's favorite wholesome game show host. The man's been hosting The Price is Right for years, giving off total dad energy, but back in 2012, he had a whole secret relationship with adult film star and webcam model Nikki Schuyler, whose real name is Megan Martinez. Megan was born July 16, 1987 in Miami, Florida, and is known for her work in the adult industry, including being named Twisty's Treat of the Month in February 2014 and Penthouse Pet of the Month in April 2017. Their romance was marked by Drew's financial support for Megan and her young son, all while she continued her adult career. Here's how it went down. In 2012, Drew, who was recently split from fiancée Nicole Jarax, discovered Megan on myfreecams.com. According to sources, he immediately fell in love after seeing her photo and began sending her gifts. They connected via private video sessions, and things escalated quickly. Drew flew to Las Vegas for the AVN Awards specifically to meet her, and soon after, he moved Megan and her then 9-year-old son Noah to Los Angeles. He was renting them a home for $60,000 annually. Drew, who's valued at $165 million, was basically acting as a sugar daddy, providing full financial support while being fully aware of her adult career. By 2014, the relationship was getting pretty serious. Megan attended Drew's Dancing with the Stars tapings, where he introduced her as his girlfriend to cast and crew. Sources said Drew wanted to take the relationship to the next level, but insisted she stop doing adult work. Though he was apparently okay with her performing only with women in videos, she continued camming for financial security, citing her son as the reason. Now here's where things got messy. Megan's criminal record became a focal point in 2014 reports. She was arrested 3 times in Florida, 2006, 2008, for misdemeanors like retail theft, with mugshots surfacing online. Drew was reportedly unaware initially, but it apparently didn't end the relationship. No scandals involving abuse or legal disputes emerged from their time together. The focus was mainly on her past and her industry ties. The relationship seems to have ended amicably sometime post-2014, though the exact timeline is unclear. Drew went on to have a relationship with Amy Harwick. They were engaged but split in 2018, and tragically, Harwick was murdered in 2020. By 2025, Drew and Megan have been spotted having lunch together in Los Angeles, which sparked romance rumors, but insiders have clarified they are longtime friends with no romantic involvement. Drew has publicly stated he's not dating anyone and is still processing Harwick's death, saying healing takes time. The Drew Carey story is actually pretty sweet compared to some of the previous relationships we have just discussed. It shows that sometimes relationships don't work out, but people can still remain supportive friends, just like this next couple. Alfonso Ribeiro. Okay, this one is genuinely surprising, especially when you hear it for the first time. Alfonso Ribeiro, best known for portraying the iconic Carlton Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, had a brief romantic involvement with adult film star Ashlyn Brooke in 2007. Ashlyn was born August 14, 1985 in Choctaw, Oklahoma, and was a former pornographic actress, feature dancer, and model who debuted in the industry in 2006 and retired in 2010. At the time of their relationship, Brooke was 21-22 years old, while Alfonso was 35-36. 1936. Their pairing genuinely surprised fans because Alfonso's goofy and nerdy on-screen persona, as Carlton seemed to contrast so sharply with Brooks' adult entertainment career. The relationship was definitely short-lived, lasting only a few months in 2007, and it ended amicably with no drama, engagements, or long-term commitments. The details on how they actually met remain pretty vague in all the available sources. Nobody really knows the origin story, which honestly just adds to the intrigue. Reports emerged in December 2007 when Alfonso was spotted hanging out with Ashlyn on the club circuit, and a YouTube video from June 2007 titled "Fresh Prince Stardates Porn Star" captured public interest. The romance was described as having strong attraction, but it didn't progress beyond a short fling. In a 2009 unfinished Q&A interview with Ashlyn, she was asked about the reported dating from last summer, but she provided no response, leaving it basically unconfirmed by her directly. Some compatibility analyses noted passion but emotional challenges between them. Some sources on social media erroneously claimed they married, but this is completely inaccurate. Alfonso's first marriage was to Robin Stapler from 2002-2007, and Ashlyn married Travis Rogers in 2013. Post-relationship, Alfonso married Angela Unkrich in 2012. They have 3 children together, while Ashlyn has focused on family life since retiring from the industry, occasionally reflecting on her past in interviews, but not specifically about Alfonso. Macaulay Culkin. Alright, we're discussing Macaulay Culkin, the former child star known worldwide for Home Alone, and his alleged link to Spanish adult film actress Irene Lopez in January 2011. The timing of this is important. In early January 2011, Macaulay and Mila Kunis publicly announced their amicable split after 8 years together, though the actual breakup had occurred earlier and was kept private during Kunis' Black Swan promotion. So when mid-January 2011 rolled around and Macaulay was photographed with Irene Lopez outside Baghdad, a live sex club in Barcelona where she worked, the media immediately jumped on it as a potential rebound situation. Irene was featured on the club's homepage and performed there regularly. This was the only confirmed public sighting of them together, but Lopez claimed in an interview with E! Online on January 21, 2011, that this was not their first encounter. She said they had hung out multiple times privately, described Macaulay as a good person, and expressed reluctance to interfere with any potential reconciliation between him and Kunis. However, Macaulay and his team were not having it. On January 24, 2011, Culkin issued a statement denying any contact beyond the single photo, and his representative called the reports completely false and expressed disappointment in Lopez's fictitious stories. His statement essentially said he took one photo with a fan, and that was it. The main controversy here was obviously the he said, she said dynamic. Lopez implied multiple private meetings without specifying romance, while Macaulay stated zero contact beyond one photo and accused her of fabrication. Media framed it as a potential rebound rumor post-Kunis, but Macaulay's swift response pretty much shut it down immediately. Lopez, who's sometimes described as Ukrainian-born, worked at Baghdad and had a minor adult film career, but there were no further interviews from her beyond those initial comments. Post-2011, there were absolutely no further developments, and the rumor is occasionally mentioned in lists of Culkin's past links, but always noted as denied. Macaulay has since married Brenda Song. They got engaged in 2022 and have 2 children, with no ties to Lopez mentioned in any recent years. Tommy Lee. Let's talk about Tommy Lee, the legendary Mötley Crüe drummer known for his wild lifestyle and, let's be honest, his very public relationships. In early 2006, Tommy had a brief romantic fling with adult film star Stefanie Morgan, who was born October 30th, 1985. At the time, Tommy was 43 and recently divorced from Pamela Anderson. His third marriage to her ended in 2001, though they briefly reconciled later, while Stefanie was a 20-year-old rising star in the porn industry, signed to Vivid Video and known for her sex kitten persona. That's a 23-year age gap. For those keeping track at home, Tommy and Stefanie met on January 7, 2006 at the Adult Video News (AVN) awards after party at the Venetian Resort Hotel Casino in Las Vegas. Reports indicate there was an immediate connection, and they began seeing each other frequently afterward. By mid-January 2006, the relationship went public through tabloid reports, with a friend of Stefanie telling Page6.com. They've been seeing a lot of each other ever since. Tommy was described as quietly dating her, and the pairing drew immediate attention due to her youth and adult film career. In May 2006, Stefanie gave interviews praising their sex life and Tommy's personality, indicating they were smitten, and she hoped for something more serious. She even referenced Tommy's infamous sex tape with Pamela Anderson as a point of intrigue, which is bold, to say the least. Stefanie noted that more guys than girls asked her about Tommy's performance, and she was very complimentary overall. However, by June 2006, the couple had separated, with no specific reason reported. The relationship is noted as lasting from January to May /June 2006. 2006, so we're talking about 5 to 6 months total. After the split, Stefani continued her adult film career briefly before retiring around 2008 to focus on personal life. She reflected positively on Tommy in interviews but moved on to other relationships, including brief links to Rick Salomon and J.C. Chase's. Tommy, known for his wild persona, dated several others, including a brief remarriage to Pamela Anderson in 2008, before eventually marrying Brittany Ferlin in 2019. No ongoing contact or reunions have been reported in searches up to 2025. The Tommy Lee story is pretty standard for his dating history. Honestly, the man has always been known for his rock star lifestyle and relationships with women in entertainment, just like this next actor. Marilyn Manson. Alright, we need to discuss Marilyn Manson, born Brian Hugh Warner, the controversial shock rocker, and his 2009 relationship with adult film star and performer Stoya, whose real name is Jessica Stojadinovic. Stoya, known for her work in the adult industry since 2007 and her advocacy for performers' rights, was 23 at the time, while Manson was 40. Their pairing drew media attention due to their shared alternative aesthetics and Manson's already extensive history of high-profile, tumultuous romances. The relationship was described as fun and casual by Stoya, with a dynamic Manson later likened to brother and sister in a 2015 Dazed interview. Details on their initial meeting are pretty sparse, but sources suggest it occurred around March 2009, shortly after Manson split from Evan Rachel Wood. Stoya, an AVN Best New Starlet winner, aligned perfectly with Manson's gothic and alternative scene, and their connection formed during his album promotion for The High End of Low. They dated for about 8 months, from March to November 2009, much of it on the road during Manson's The High End of Low tour. Stoya joined him for segments of the tour, and they were spotted together publicly, including in Perth, Australia. Manson confirmed the relationship in June 2009. Their dynamic was described as playful and intellectual. Stoya praised Manson as fascinating and super intelligent in various interviews. However, there was one particularly controversial incident during their relationship. Manson showed an interviewer from The Times a photo of Stoya with a swastika shaved into her pubic hair, which sparked major backlash and accusations of anti-Semitism, despite Stoya's Serbian heritage. This incident may have contributed to their eventual split, though neither has confirmed it directly. The relationship ended in late November or early December 2009. Stoya announced the breakup on Twitter on December 4th, writing, "We simply weren't right for each other. Just because we had fun doesn't mean we were meant to be long-term. C'est la vie." The primary reasons included Manson's demanding tour schedule. They saw each other only about 1 day a month, and the negative press. Stoya later clarified that while they had fun, the constant travel made a deeper connection impossible, but they remained friends who occasionally talked. After the breakup, Manson briefly reunited with Evan Rachel Wood in late 2009, leading to an engagement that ended in 2010. Stoya continued her career until around 2015, then shifted to writing and directing. She published a book, Philosophy, Pussycats, and Porn, and has spoken about industry issues, but rarely about Manson. The relationship is remembered as a brief, drama-free chapter in Manson's dating history. If you enjoyed watching this video, check out our other awesome videos on the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.